I will rearrange my bedroom however the hell I want. I'll shampoo my carpet when I want. I'll go out there and I will wipe down that garage. I will clean it with bleach and gas and turpentine, thinner. I'll do all that if I want. Not a problem. I'll go shoot my 22 all the hell all over the place. I'll stay away from the air compressor though. Okay, the tank. I'll do what the hell I want. I'll go out there and I'll burn a quart of firewood. I'll burn tractor tires, okay? And I'll have flames as high as the sky. All right? Not a problem. I will be Stephen Avery. I'm Stephen Avery. I got no problem being Stephen Avery in this case. I got a problem with some of his mannerisms, but not in this case. Now then. Of course, I just watched the Blood Vial freaking one, the latest one. Daily Wire convicting a murderer. Yeah, I do all that stuff. Sure, I'll admit it. I did it. All of that stuff. Okay? But I didn't plant the RAV4. I didn't put Teresa's RAV4 in my garage. Okay? Now, how am I supposed to do all this stuff with Teresa's vehicle, the 6P3 truck vehicle, and plant a K95 and get my blood in a K95? Not the one that reached the Wisconsin State Crime Lab, by the way. How did I do that? Back floor? Yeah, you say it's been clean? Who cleaned it? We got pictures of it not clean. All right? No. We got pictures of it. You look at that floor, it ain't clean. You look at the pictures you got, they went back in there and they cleaned maybe some portions of it. And I don't think that's true either. But whatever photos you're showing, all around it like that, and it wouldn't matter. Well, first off, it wasn't cleaned. That floor has not been cleaned. Period. And if you did go back there and clean it, right? Stephen didn't do it, you busted yourself. Boom. You busted yourself. Well, shit, we better get down there and clean this thing. So y'all got down there and cleaned this thing, and then you did that, and you used whatever they used. I don't see it. I see, yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe. That area and stuff. But when you look at the pictures of it, what was there? You know? Pull the tractor out. Yeah, right. You clean all this other stuff. You do not have any clue as to how much blood was there. Okay, here, let me give you an idea. You're a janitor, okay? And you have to come in and clean. Crime scene cleanup, okay? Have you ever watched somebody bleed out? Shit! Now, to clean that floor with that much blood, you have got to have a mop, slap, go over it with a mop. Okay, cleaned it up. Great. What, he went and threw all the rags in there and they all burned up in the fire too? Well, that's awful convenient, cool, whatever. But the problem with this is that floor had not been cleaned, and now in places where the photograph doesn't show, those places have been cleaned conveniently. However, there's still dust on it, there's still stuff, it looks like it hasn't been moved. You know? Yeah. This is doing more freeing Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey than it is convicting them. Okay? These people keep tripping over themselves. You know? Shit. Well, he called her on her phone. That means something bad. Oh, he called down at the office. Well, he's using that as an alibi. Well, shit. If you're a witch, right? Well, they'll drown you, burn you at the stake or something like that. You know? If you survive, you know, and they gotta kill your ass or whatever it is. What, if you drown, I guess you wasn't a witch, but if you survive drowning, they'll burn you at the stake because you didn't drown. You know? They're putting them in what's known as catch-22 situations. That's catch-22 situation. You cannot get past the fact that no matter what didn't go on over here, it's a triangle. The Avery triangle, there you go. It's between the bedroom, the garage, and the burn pit. That's it. And you have another set, okay, over here of characters and actors over here. So that's it. That's it. Now, how did Stephen Avery switch vehicles and stick that one down there? Well, you searched the whole yard, right? The cops searched this whole yard. They were like cops everywhere, firemen, everybody just popping trunks and doing all this stuff, right? And they didn't find a green RAV4. They found the blue one. Well, what about the other search party that found a green one down here? See, a green one down here. That was Teresa's vehicle. But they got them all concentrated over here because they told her where it would be. And Teresa's actual vehicle, then at that point, down here, right? Well, where's Teresa? Where's Teresa? You're not, I can't wait till this next one with the burning, okay? That is an absolute impossibility whatsoever. That is just no way. Because you can't, in film, when you're watching a movie, there's no smell, okay? And when you're in a courtroom, evidently there's no smell, which is one of your senses, by the way. So, there's no smell. Nobody smelled a human being being burned in Avery's pit that you could just see right there. And you know how much fuel it takes to do that? And then they show us a little shopping cart. See, he takes a little shopping cart. You want to know how many of those shopping carts you're going to need to burn a body? Oh, well, shit, we got some tires. The tires are hot, you know. Well, the smell of the tires is going to mask the smell of a burnt human being. No, you're going to smell burning tires, yeah, and burning human being. It doesn't make the burning human being smell go away. Dumbass. So no human being was burned on that property that night. Period. Done. Now, that Teresa's, and I noticed in the drawing, the computer drawing one, it's a green RAV4. It's a 6P3. It's a 6P3 in the garage. It's a 6P3. It's Teresa's vehicle in Stephen Avery's garage. Did you miss that? Because that 6P3 in that garage, in what you showed me, it's in the pictures, right? That drawing, computer-generated art. Well, that doesn't match what's found out there, which is a K95. You see? So even in your own evidence right there, it says, oh, look at that, back up. Yeah, that's a 6P3. Okay, then you're going to go along, and they're going to show K95. How does Stephen do that? You know? And then we have Bobby, and man, it appears to be Chuck, out there pushing the K95. But then down here we have Andy Colburn and Lieutenant Link with a K95. Okay? Going on to the property. We got things happening. So how is Stephen doing all this stuff? The peripheral. You know? The key. You mean to tell me that set of slippers right there stayed there through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 searches, hours long, and on the 7th search, without kicking it over, without moving, just walking in and say, hey, look at that. It's moved over, and there's a key. Well, if the slippers stayed there all the time and nobody messed with the slippers, and then the slippers moved, and there's the key, because they would have seen the key on the first one, right? Then that means somebody was in there, and it could not have been Stephen. Did you miss that? Did you miss that, really? Okay? So when they went in there on the first time, they're supposed to go to the bedroom over there, look underneath the slipper, and find the key. The key's going to be underneath the slippers by the case. And they go, and they don't find it, so they put it back. And they come back in the second time. Not there. They come back. They have to make an excuse to keep going back, until finally they got to find the key and put it back. So that's abnormal. That's somebody actually did that, and Stephen's in jail. How did Stephen do that? Huh? Stephen didn't do that. Did the cops do that? See, it's the cops doing that. And you keep labeling me and us, projecting on us what you think that we are doing. And then you clump us all into one category. No, back up. Sean. No, the cops didn't plant the key. Don't go out there and tell us, well, these conspiracy nuts, these Stephen Avery and his cause supporters, like the way you frame me, you know. No, I'm me. Now then, how in the hell are you going to explain that Stephen Avery clairvoyantly got out of his jail cell, went over there, snuck in, planted the key, and then went back to his jail cell? Flipped the slipper back over. And then we come up with, well, it must have come out of the back of the case. And the chain is still there, and I don't know how. It's a miracle. Well, I guess I got a little rough with it, and it fell out. But I didn't get enough rough with it to even move the change. Okay? It's in exactly the same spot. You pick a picture of it before and afterwards, you move them over top of each other. That thing hasn't been moved. So Andy's lying right there. Why is he lying? Because he's making excuses of why that it was there the whole time, they just didn't find it. Versus they went to go look for it and it wasn't there. Why are you going back in 7 times into a little trailer that's supposed to be secured? Wasn't it wrapped around crime scene? I didn't see crime scene tape around that. You know? See? They didn't have an officer sitting there the whole time guarding it. And who else other than Chuck or Bobby is going to put that key there? But this is where it goes. Is that, well, we don't want you to look at Chuck or Bobby. We want people to think that you think that I think that the cops planned it. The cops didn't plan it. They knew it was going to be there, though. Why do they keep going back in 7 times? The key is so important to the case, they will lose the case if they don't have the key. Okay? So, every time we get anybody, there's more information. Just makes it that much worse. Dig more of your grave, go ahead, you know. Don't let me stop you. You're digging yourself in a hole. You know, you're going to dig yourself so down in a hole that you have to look up to look down. Shit. The cops didn't plant the key. Bobby and Chuck are the ones that had the key. Where did the key come from? That fits the rapport that's in the Wisconsin State Crime Lab. Wisconsin State Crime Lab K95. Okay. That key fits that. But that key does not fit the vehicle that's on the property. That's a different vehicle. How can you have a bullet hole in the first vehicle you find, and it's supposed to arrive down there at Wisconsin State Crime Lab and doesn't have a bullet hole in it? No, it doesn't have a bullet hole in it, and then arrive with a bullet hole in it. Somebody shot it in between, but you can't unshoot it. You see? So, well, that marks one. Differentiate between the two. And anybody that's worked their salt in investigation is going to know that. Why don't you? Why don't you know it? Well, you don't know it, but you know it now. Why is there a hole drilled into the driver's side door handle? It appears to be. I don't think it's a fly, but there's something there in that handle. But then when you go look at the other one, it's not there in the handle. See, so they're making little marks that you can, if you're looking for things, there they are. Thanks, Millbilly. Okay, there they are. You know, the glass with the one on Avery Auto Salvage is been replaced, or the one, they got a little sticker thing in there. There's something going on with the stickers. Oh, how can you have a clean windshield? Clean as clean can be, but you have a dirty windshield with the wind wiper like this that wiped it. So they dirtied up the back end, they made sure they wiped it, and it was already wiped, and that's how they found it. So they made sure they made this one as clean can be. And then when they recovered it, that one, the clean back windshield, went somewhere, because the one that was a dirty windshield with the wiper in the Wisconsin State Crime Lab. That differentiates 2 different vehicles. You see? You understanding that Stephen Avery couldn't have killed Teresa Marie Halbach and done everything up there when all this vehicle stuff is going on out here? He can't do that. He can't do that. You can't burn 120 pounds of human being with the material and the weather conditions, the conditions of the pit, the wind directions, wind gusts, high and low pressure. It was a low pressure system, by the way. It means the smoke goes up and it lays on the ground. The place would have been smelling like Auschwitz. The wind direction, yeah, if it blew over and then it hit the back of the garage is going to stink like death. You know what death smells like? And it goes over to his trailer, it's going to stick on his trailer. The smoke will. And the smoke smells like rubber and death. If that was even burned that night. You know? Those could have been in there for a while. Burned them last burn. You don't know when they were burned. You're assuming that they were burned this time. Oh, they got bones in between? Sure. Fine. The smell of death would be like on the grass, like in the trees, on the leaves of the bushes, you know. And it will smell like Auschwitz. Okay? Hey, Candace, tell you what, why don't you get your pretty little ass on an airplane, fly it over to India, and go hang out there where they're burning bodies, okay? Go hang out there. Get a good whiff of a burning human being before you open your mouth, okay? So, anybody that has not smelt a human being burn, shut up. Okay? Now, if you have smelt a human being burn, then speak up. You know? Convicting the murder is doing way more of unconvicted Stephen Avery and being used as evidence against these idiots that thought that they could do it again and get away with it. And yet, they're giving themselves up. Even more so. So, we know that Zippers was Teresa's last stop. Teresa went to the Zippers. Okay? And Andy Colburn. Let's see. No. Okay, the Zipper is going to keep Teresa's car in their garage, and they're involved in this. And Andy Colburn's got to call the plates in at the Zippers, and then take it up to Bondi Quick Mart and stick it in his salvage yard. So Andy says he was at the Zippers when he called in Teresa's plates. And, well, Teresa's plates, Zippers, wow. That I'd be sitting at the Zippers all this time. Stephen Avery didn't do that, right? Stephen Avery didn't drive Teresa Reed's Hallbox vehicle someplace else. Stephen Avery didn't take Teresa's day planner that she wrote in back home. Okay? There are things here that is impossible for Stephen Avery to have done, which means there's other forces that are intelligence and are working together beyond Stephen Avery's sphere of influence, which is his trailer, his garage, and his fire pit. What other stuff's going on? Other stuff is happening. And it's being recorded. You just pull it out of his ass, you know? So Stephen Avery went down there and ditched Teresa's car over here. That's where the 5 girls found it. But Pam and Nicole go over and they find this one with all this stuff on it. And that bin up here matches Teresa's. Well, no. It matches a blue, all one color. And it's on a 3-color vehicle. And there's a green one down here. The green one's Teresa's. I guarantee you it's Teresa's. I know it's Teresa's. Then Teresa drove away in a blue Pathfinder. She just switched vehicles. Why can't she? She switched vehicles and drove off in a blue Pathfinder. There's all sorts of things here. And that means that there is reasonable doubt. All this means is every single time they show one more clip is one more piece of reasonable doubt. Beyond even belief whatsoever. There's reasonable disbelief. Beyond reasonable disbelief. And that's what this is. I can't wait for more. It's just more incriminating shit. More incriminating shit. Oh, I'm sitting there on Stephen Avery Sports. Hi, I'm Stephen Avery. You want to fuck with me? Bring it on. Okay. No matter what Brendan says, we cut her throat. Okay. Brendan says you cut her throat. Now, prove her throat was cut. Well, we can't prove it other than Brendan said so. So you can't collaborate that? Well, he did this and he did that, you know. Okay. So he goes in there and he claims it. Did they find a hair of Jody? Did they find a hair of Stephen? Did they find anything of anybody in there whatsoever? Now, here's another test for you. Ben. Your show, right? You want this? Okay. Candace, yeah. You get to keep your job. You get to keep to being an associate with Daily Wire Plus. Okay? And you don't get fired, you don't get run out of town, tarred or feathered. Okay? You do everything you possibly can to not be kidnapped by Ben Shapiro. And I want you to rip off molding as you're going in. I want you to scratch on stuff. You leave your mark. Okay? That's what. Now then. Yeah. Don't let him get you in. If he gets you in, and then tie you up. If he gets you in and ties you up and you're successfully tied to the bed, right? Well, you're not going to leave anything behind? No, you're going to be ripping shit apart. You're going to be like ripping shit apart, grabbing on the shit, grabbing on the stuff. And what about Stephen Avery's marks? I want you to scratch the shit out of Ben. I want you to bite him. Bite him. You're fighting for your life. You're fighting for your job, okay, which is your life. So I want you to bite his nose off. I want you to bite his ear off. I want you to bite fingers off, you know, scratch. And Stephen Avery doesn't have a mark on him. Brendan Dassey, not a mark on him. But we have Ryan Hildegrass and we have Bobby Dassey with defensive marks and scars on them. Okay. I'm really glad you guys got this out here so that we can all dissect it. Because the more you put out here, the more these people incriminate themselves. I'm having a blast, man. It's well worth my money.